All right, so today we're diving into this YouTube video, and it's called From Employee to Content Creator, My Life-Changing Decision. And it's about this woman named Sacha Fierce. And like her story just really got me thinking, about how we all hit those rough patches. But sometimes like they can lead us to places we never expected, even to finding, what we're truly meant to do.
Yeah, and what really struck me about Sacha's story was how relatable her struggles were at the beginning. She was working as a hospital manager, trying to juggle family responsibilities on top of that, which is already a lot for anyone to handle.
Oh, absolutely. And then on top of all that, her daughter has sickle cell anemia. And she talks about, the constant worry, the hospital visits, and how it made holding down a steady job almost impossible.
Right, and that's a really important point because Sacha's experience really highlights the burden that caregivers face, especially parents of children with chronic illnesses. It's not just the physical demands, but the emotional toll too, the financial strain, and that constant, fear of the unknown.
Yeah, it's so much to deal with. And she actually mentions being let go from multiple jobs because she needed to take time off to care for her daughter. It's just heartbreaking, and sadly, it's a reality for so many families. But you know what I find so inspiring is that she didn't let these setbacks break her. She started cooking to make ends meet, selling plates out of her truck, doing personal chef gigs. She hustled.
Absolutely, yeah. That entrepreneurial spirit, like that ability to adapt and find creative solutions, it really shows her resilience. She could have easily just given up, but instead she channeled that energy into providing for her family, which is such a powerful message in itself.
It really is. But let's be real for a second, juggling all of that, the job instability, the financial worries, the constant stress of caring for her daughter, it takes a toll. Sacha bravely shares how she fell into a deep depression during this time.
And this is where her story takes on an even deeper meaning. By opening up about her depression, she helps destigmatize these mental health challenges. It's a reminder that depression isn't a sign of weakness. It's a real illness that can affect anyone, regardless of how strong they seem on the surface.
Exactly. And it also highlights how crucial it is to have a support system during those tough times. And this is where Sacha's son enters the picture.
Yeah.
And his role is incredibly moving. He saw his mom struggling, and instead of, withdrawing, he stepped up in such a beautiful way.
He really does become this beacon of light in her life, offering that unwavering support, reminding her of her strength. She talks about him praying with her, encouraging her, consistently reminding her that things would get better. It just shows the profound impact that even one person can have on someone's well-being.
Oh, it's incredible. Like his unwavering faith in her, even when she was struggling to believe in herself. It's truly inspiring. And it makes you think about the power of belief, not just in a higher power, but in each other. Sometimes that's all it takes to start turning things around.
Absolutely. It's that spark of hope, that reminder that you're not alone. It can make all the difference. And for Sacha, that spark seems to lead to a real turning point. She stumbled upon TikTok, and while it might seem like just a distraction at first, it ends up becoming so much more.
This is where it gets really interesting.
At first she was probably just scrolling, watching videos, finding a bit of an escape, but then something clicked. She starts creating her own content, sharing her cooking, her story, her personality really shines through.
And the response was amazing. People connected with her authenticity, with her resilience, her joy. It's infectious. She mentions hitting over 1 million followers across different platforms in less than a year. That's not just going viral, that's building a community.
It really is. And what's so interesting is that she wasn't trying to become a social media star or anything. She was just sharing what she loved, something that brought her joy during a really tough time. And that genuineness, that passion, it resonated with people.
It's a good reminder that sometimes the most powerful content comes from being vulnerable, being authentic. It's not about perfect pictures or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about sharing your story, your passions, your perspective with the world.
Exactly. And in Sacha's case, that vulnerability led to some incredible success. She talks about how creating content allowed her to pay off a significant amount of debt, a tangible sign of the economic empowerment that social media can offer.
Wow, that financial freedom. Yeah, that must have been a huge relief. But it's more than just the money, right? It's that feeling of agency, of having control over her own life, which she might have felt like she lost during those years of struggling.
Exactly. It's about reclaiming her narrative, defining success on her own terms. And what's even more inspiring is that her success wasn't just about personal gain. She mentions getting messages from people saying she inspires them, that her story gives them hope. That's the power of sharing your journey. It creates a ripple effect, touching so many lives.
It does. It creates this amazing sense of community, a feeling of shared understanding, that we're all going through challenges. We all have our battles, and we don't have to face them alone. And sometimes the most unexpected places can offer that connection and support.
If we think about the bigger picture, Sacha's story really highlights the transformative power of connection. It reminds us that we don't have to go through these things alone, whether it's family, a friend who listens, or even a community online that shares our passions. Having those people in our corner can make all the difference.
Absolutely. And sometimes those people might surprise us. Sacha talks about how her parents, who didn't quite get the whole social media thing at first, they've come to support and celebrate her success. It shows that even those closest to us can grow and surprise us with their understanding.
It's true. And we can't forget the role of faith in her journey either. Her son's belief in her and her own commitment to prayer. They played a big part in helping her through those dark moments. It speaks to the power of faith as a source of strength, especially when facing adversity.
It's a beautiful reminder that sometimes the greatest support comes from within, from that voice that tells us to keep going, to keep believing, even when things feel like they're falling apart. But you know what really stays with me about her story? Is that message of hope. It reminds us that no matter how tough things get, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes finding that light means embracing the unexpected, trying something new, and letting ourselves be surprised by where life takes us.
It's about understanding that our journeys aren't always straight lines. There will be detours, roadblocks, moments where we feel lost. But it's often in those moments of difficulty that we discover our strengths and find the courage to rewrite our stories.
I love that. Sacha's journey from feeling stuck to finding her passion. It's such a powerful example of resilience. It reminds us that we all have the power to create change, to find our voice and build a life that's meaningful.
It really does. And it underscores this idea that sometimes the greatest discoveries are born out of our toughest challenges. It's about looking for the silver linings, the lessons we learn, the opportunities that come up when we dare to step outside our comfort zones.
You know, as we're talking about this, I can't help but think about everyone out there who might be feeling lost or discouraged right now. It's so important to remember.
It's so important to remember that you're not alone. Like so many people out there feel that way. They feel lost, they feel discouraged. It's a normal part of life, especially when you're dealing with unexpected challenges.
And it's in those times that we got to really dig deep and remember how strong we are. We've all overcome tough stuff, even when it felt impossible at the time. We have that strength inside, even when it feels hidden.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes remembering that strength means asking for help. It could be a friend or family, a therapist, maybe even a group online of people who get what you're going through. Sharing those burdens can really make things feel lighter and help you see things in a new way.
It's like that saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. Right? Sometimes just having someone listen without judgment can make all the difference in the world. It reminds you that you're not in this alone.
And Sacha's story is like a perfect example of that. Having the right people in your corner, like her son did, can give you that support and that encouragement to get through those tough times. Sometimes it's that belief from others that helps us see our own strength again.
It's like they're holding up a mirror, right? Showing us the resilience and the abilities we might have forgotten about. And that brings us to another important point from Sacha's story, the importance of believing in ourselves. It's easy to lose heart when things aren't going well. But we have to remember that each of us has unique talents, skills, and perspectives that the world needs.
Absolutely. Sacha didn't plan on being a social media influencer. She just had this passion for cooking and a knack for connecting with people and a story that resonated with others. She embraced those things, put herself out there, and look where it got her.
It reminds us that our passions, those things that light us up and bring us joy, they often hold the key to feeling fulfilled. But they can also lead to opportunities we never even imagined.
And those opportunities, sometimes they pop up when we least expect them, often right in the middle of tough times. It's about being brave enough to try new things, step out of our comfort zone, and trust that even if we stumble, we'll learn something along the way.
I think that's the core of Sacha's message. A message of hope, resilience, and the power of human connection. Her journey reminds us that even in the darkest times, there's always a spark of light inside us waiting to be lit.
It really is a testament to the strength of the human spirit to overcome adversity, to find that strength in unexpected places, and to create a life full of purpose and meaning.
Sacha's story is so inspiring. For anyone who's feeling lost or discouraged or stuck, it reminds us that we all have a story to tell, a voice to share, and the potential to make a difference in the world. So Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep believing in that power of hope because you never know where your journey might lead. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.